In yesterday's guide we covered how to make tens of thousands of gold fast, but today I'll be explaining how to set up a passive income in Bannerlord using Caravans. As of release, Caravans are earning more money than workshops consistently. Using Caravans allows you to sit back and do nothing but generate money and even 5 renown each day. On top of that, I'll be explaining how you can ensure success for your Caravans, and I've timestamped each topic in case you want to skip ahead, but I would highly recommend watching all the way through before you buy your first caravan so you don't make any mistakes. So firstly, starting out, we need to find a companion who can lead our caravan. We're specifically looking for a companion who has a high trade skill to maximize profits. Secondly, you can actually affect your caravan survivability by having a high scouting skill, and it can be leveled up very fast passively as well, so don't worry too much if the companion doesn't have a good scouting skill, but it basically allows your caravan to move faster, see enemies from further away, and avoid combat, which is very important to be profitable. And then thirdly, a high riding skill to move faster too. I should note that medicine and tactics are also beneficial as well, but not essential. If we can find a companion with a combination of all or some of these skills, that would be incredible. But these are the skills that ultimately affect how much money you earn with your caravan in order of importance. I'll go over the best perk for each of them at the end of the video. But your caravans will be managed by your companions, so right now I'm going to go over how you can find the best companions to manage your caravans. So to do this, we're going to press N to open up the encyclopedia. We're going to go to Heroes, and then on the left here, we're going to say I want to find people who are alive, ideally. And also, occupation is going to be Wanderer, and these are all the potential companions in the entire game. Now, another thing you can do, just behind my head, is you can sort by age. And then, if we go all the way to the bottom, we have the youngest person in the game, who is 21 years old. And that basically just means that they're going to last for longer, if you have age activated in your game. So now if you look on the bottom left, we can see each companion, and we can have a look at their skills down here. He has good riding skill and good combat skill, so that's okay, but we can probably find someone better than that. So we're going to press previous page, and we're going to keep pressing this and go through every single companion to find the best ones. So this lady has a very good trade skill of 82. She also has good combat skills as well, which is helpful. But her age is only 22, so that means she has lots of time to actually level up her other skills as well. So if we want to find her location, on the top right here it says last seen in Inquiaz. So if we click on that location, you can then track where this actually is on the map. So if I go ahead and zoom out, she's actually located in this town just over here on the map. So that's the first companion I'm going to hire, but I'm actually going to have more than one caravan, so I'm going to hire a few people. So we're going to go back to the encyclopedia tab, and we're going to carry on scrolling through these different companions. So this guy, Cow Thief, has 60 trade as well. He also has a good riding skill and good combat as well. And he's only 23. So we're going to go to Cianon, where it says he was last seen, and then we're going to track that location as well. We're also going to be hiring him. And then Yasmila, the spice vendor, also has 101 trade, so we can also find out where she is. But you should know that all of these heroes, all their names and their skills are randomly generated, so they're different for everyone's playthrough. You're not going to have the same characters with the same names as me. You might, but it's RNG, and every playthrough is going to be different. So you have to manually look through these people yourself to find the best ones. And also, over the course of the game, old people are going to die, they might die in battle or whatever, and then new people are going to appear. So you can check back anytime to see if new people appear. Now, if you didn't know, to actually hire these companions, just go to the city where they're located, then go to the tavern district, and visit the tavern. If you hold down the Alt button, you'll see all the NPCs that you can talk to in the tavern. Denny the Swift just here is the one we're looking for.
Well now, stranger. Peace to you.
She's a little bit terrifying. I can use someone like you in my company. And she wants 563 gold for us to hire her, which is definitely worth it, so we're going to pay that money. And she has now joined our party. Now, if I click on my character tab and then go to Denny the Swift, I can actually see her stats and the different perks she has currently got assigned. I'll go over your companion trade build in a moment, but you're going to want to distribute any focus points into trade because that's the one you want to max first. You can also see she's good at one-handed and bow. So you're going to want to make sure that you actually give her a bow and arrow and also a sword and shield so she can actually be competent in combat. Though really her equipment doesn't matter, so there's no point in really giving her loads of armor and spending money on the character like that. She's really just controlling the caravan, that's her only purpose. And now to actually hire the caravan itself, there's a few things you should note. Firstly, you can hire multiple caravans from the same location. However, this is a bad thing to do because they'll actually affect each other negatively early on if they're leaving from the same location. Essentially, what will happen is that they'll go and trade in the same towns, they'll look for good offers, and they'll end up wanting to buy the same stuff. So one caravan might take up a good offer, and then the other caravan doesn't have anything left to buy, meaning one will be making a loss early on. So it's actually advisable to instead hire one caravan, for example, in the south here, and then go over here to like the Empire, hire another one, and then go to the north and hire another one, just so they're in completely different parts of the map to start out with. So we're going to start here in the Azurai Kingdom, and we're going to go ahead and hire a caravan. To do this, we're going to speak to one of the merchants just here. As you can see, he is a merchant and he owns caravans. So we're going to go and speak to him. And from here you can say, I wish to form a caravan in this town. Now there are actually two types of caravans in the game. This part is very important. So we have the standard caravan, which costs us 15,000 gold, and you hire 29 caravan guards to form that caravan, and also you obviously use your companion to lead them. So 30 people in total. However, you can also ask, is there a way to form a caravan that includes better troops? And then basically what you'll get is higher tier troops, so higher tier caravan guards, in exchange for 22,500 instead. So that's 7,500 more gold just for higher tier troops. Now it does make the caravan a bit more survivable initially, but as you know, the game goes on, and how the mechanics of it actually worked when I tested it was that caravan won't replace those high tier troops. They'll actually just replace them with normal troops. So basically you're paying an extra 7,500 gold for what will end up just being a normal caravan after like a year of gameplay or something. So in my opinion, it's just not worth getting a higher tier caravan. There's no point. So instead, always get the base caravan, which is 15,000 gold. So we're going to go for this one. And then it says, who do I want to lead the caravan? And obviously we got the follower Denny the Swift, who is going to be doing this job. And she has to be in your party, and the companion you want to lead it needs to be in your party before you can actually select them. So make sure they are. Okay then, I'll call my men to help prepare your caravan. I hope it brings a good profit. Bear in mind that you can also use family members to run your caravans as well. You can easily recall any family member to your party by pressing the recall button just here. They'll just take a few days to travel to you. So as you can see from the map, I went round and I found a total of 4 companions to manage 4 different caravans, and you can see them all dotted around on the map now. So if we go to the clan tab on the bottom left here, we can have a look at our current finances. It's always good to keep an eye on this. If we go to the daily change, you can see here on the right that currently we have 4 caravans on the go, with the first one we made actually making 267 gold per day. The second one we made is making 231 gold per day. The third one we made is making 154 gold a day. We literally only just made the fourth one, and currently she's making 18 gold per day. But now we're going to leave it some time. I'm going to wait a few months and we're just going to see what the daily income is for these different caravans. Next we can begin the companion's skill leveling process. What you'll notice after 1 month of waiting is that your companions increase their scouting skill really fast since they're leading their own parties and using it. Their trade skill will also level up pretty quickly as well. You'll see their riding skill increase rather slowly in comparison though. 1 month later, we can start speccing our companions, and there's a few things to think about and bear in mind when you do so. So as you can see, we're like a month later. Firstly, we have Ira the Healer. She's leveled up her scouting skill to level 43 already. She's also leveled up her trade to level 27, and her riding is level 21. Ragged Cow Thief is currently capped at 14 scouting, but he has leveled up because he's increased his trading and whatnot. So we need to put a focus point into scouting so he can actually level it up. We can also take a look at our current earnings and profits so far after 1 month. We can see that Caravan 1 is now earning 836 denars per day, Caravan 2 is making 665, Caravan 3 669, Caravan 4 is at 103 per day. So currently we're making 2,000 gold a day just by sitting there doing nothing. Now obviously if we continue this simulation, you guys can see that at the start of the video, if you go back and check, we started with 60,000 gold. But now we have 168,000 gold. So yeah, caravans are very profitable. But there are a few things you should bear in mind, and this is potentially the most important part of this video, and some simple rules that you can abide by. Firstly, since the economy in Mount and Blade Bannerlord is changing continuously and constantly adapting as the game actually progresses over the years, of different factions going to war and different people trading with one another, what you'll find is initially early in the game the economy will still be settling, and it usually takes about 200 days in game for it to get to the point where the economy is now established and you know that the horses over here cost this much and the horses down there are really cheap. So you know where to go to make a profit. And your game is going to be different to my game because it changes with each playthrough. So this basically means if you start your caravans after day 200 of the game just establishing itself and the trade market establishing, then you'll actually be more profitable in the long run, or at least much more consistent. Secondly, it is possible to lose caravans, or even for them to make a loss instead of a profit. So before you get a caravan, make sure you have extra gold so you can sustain through any negative profits. Usually about 2,000 extra gold per caravan is plenty. But if your companions have a combination of high riding and scouting skill, it is far less likely to happen. In my testing, I found that most caravans would survive upwards of 4 years, and then I just stopped testing. Thirdly, as a rule of thumb, most caravans will make 250 gold per day on average, which is 91,000 gold per year, easily regaining their entire worth and much more. Fourthly, and most importantly, if you're at war while you have multiple caravans running at the same time, you're putting yourself at a much higher risk of enemy attack, because now you have a whole faction that can also attack your caravan, not just bandits. This makes caravanning much less profitable compared to not being at war. There are perks, however, to get around this. Next, we're going to be going over the ultimate companion build for caravan trading. And we're going to start out here with the riding skill. Specifically, this perk unlocked at required skill level 75 is called Nomadic Traditions, and basically what it does is it makes mounted infantry increase your party speed by another 30%. And caravans are composed of mounted infantry, so that means that they're going to be moving a lot faster compared to anything else on the map, simply because you have this perk. And then at level 100 riding skill, you can then get the perk called Sweeping Winds. And the reason we're getting this is for the bottom effect. Increase your party speed by 2%, which obviously stacks with everything else as well, increasing your total caravan speed and how quickly they do trading, meaning they make more money, and also how easy it is for them to evade enemies as well. The next skill we're going to go over is the scouting skill. So the first perk unlocks at level 25 scouting. It's called Day Traveler, and this increases your movement speed by another 2% during daytime. Now the way the clock works in Mount and Blade Bannerlord is that for the majority of the time it's daytime and not nighttime. So therefore the Daytime Traveler perk is much better compared to the Night Runner perk. Then we have the Pathfinder perk, which unlocks at skill level 50. This increases your movement speed bonus on steppes and plains by 2%, and obviously these things all stack as well. This is actually better than Water Divider, which just increases your sight range by 10%. It's actually more valuable to be able to escape enemies than see them from further away. Next, at level 75 scouting skill, we can get the Desert-born perk. Make sure you don't get Forest Skin. Forest Skin only works if more than 75% of your party is infantry. So instead, we want Desert-born, which gives you a 5% movement speed bonus on deserts and dunes, meaning that if you're ever in the Azeroth territory, you can just trade and move from enemies faster. Next we have Forced March or Unburden, which unlocks at skill level 100 in scouting. Now, Forced March is actually a trap because if you read it, it only gives you 2.5% movement speed if your party's morale is higher than 75, which is pretty high for a Caravan trading party, and you can't monitor that. So most of the time this perk's not going to be valuable to Caravanners. Instead, the Unburden perk is more effective, 20% less penalty from being overburdened. Moving while overburdened also gives plus 2% experience to all troops daily. Mounted Scouts can be unlocked at level 150, and that actually increases your sight range bonus by 10% if half of your party is cavalry. At level 175 you can get the Forager's perk, which gives you a 15% reduction in the disorganized state that slows you down after you get attacked or raided by an enemy party. This just means you can escape easily. At level 225 scouting you can get the Keen Sight perk, which reduces sight difficulty penalty of parties in forests by 50%. And then if you do actually end up getting your companion's scouting skill over level 275, Uncanny Insight increases your party speed by another 0.1% for every skill over 200. And then finally we have arguably the most important skill, which is Trade. Firstly, unlocked at level 25 Trade, we have the Wholesaler perk. 15% decrease in sell price penalty for trade goods. And trade goods is what your caravan is going to be buying and selling. Do not get the Appraiser because that only works for equipment. Secondly, at level 50 we unlock Caravan Master perk, which means our party can carry an additional 30% more weight. Just allows us to trade, carry more and sell more. At level 75 trade skill, this one is quite interesting. You can either go for Traveling Rumors, which means your caravans give you trade rumors that you can obviously act on. Or if you're not a trader yourself, it is much better passively to go for Local Connection. Your workshops gather trade rumors, which is okay, or the much better alternative, and the reason you'd get this perk is the 15% decrease in sell price penalty for animals. Now this next perk is even more important. At level 125 trade, if you yourself as the clan leader has this perk, or your quartermaster has this perk, it is an insane value because it lets you farm a ridiculous amount of renown. You can get like +5 or so renown per day with this perk called Great Investor. Every profitable caravan you own gives you +1 renown a day. Every single day you just get additional renown. It's the fastest way to increase your clan rank in the entire game, having max caravans and this perk. Mercenary Connections at level 150 decreases your mercenary troops' wages by 25%. Insurance Plans is an incredible perk. Your caravan returns 5,000 gold when destroyed. So essentially that would just mean you make a loss of 10,000 if the caravan gets destroyed. Also, 25% decrease in buy price penalty for food items as well. So absolutely amazing perk for caravans. Next we have Granary Accountant, unlocked at level 200, 20% decrease in sell price penalty for food trade goods, and also specifically if your quartermaster has a high trade skill, Sword for Barter gives a 15% lower wage for caravan guard troops specifically at level 225. Next at level 250 we have two perks. Spring of Gold isn't that great. Basically it gives you 0.1% interest on the gold you have, but it's capped at 1,000 gold per day, which is still nice on passive income if you just keep loads of gold on your body. But we also have Silver Tongue, which makes negotiation for safe passage barter 50% cheaper. So even if you're at war with enemies, you can still negotiate safe passage for your caravan, so you can still make loads of money during times of war. The next thing we have is medicine. Now the reason medicine is a useful skill to have reasonably high is because it means whenever you get attacked and your men are wounded, they have A, less chance of dying after being attacked, and B, they recover quicker from being wounded. Tactics is another useful skill for reducing the amount of losses, so if the caravan gets in a fight, tactics does help with the battle. And now you can just continue to level your companions with the appropriate perks and continue to let your caravans run. As long as your faction isn't in war, you're pretty much good to go and have that bottom line massive passive income that just carries on growing as the game goes on. Another thing you can also create as a form of passive income is obviously workshops. However, there's a few things with workshops that mean that you have to be a little bit more manual on this version of the game compared to how it used to be 2 years ago. And they're also a lot more expensive than Caravan, but it's a lot more about where they're located, what other towns are producing, and how the current economy is around it. So you need to be educated in how that works before you can make money from them. But the nice thing is about workshops is that you can't make a loss. If you want a full guide on that, you can check the one linked down below in the description. But thank you for watching this one. Drop a like before you go if you found it helpful. And I'm actually live streaming right now, so if you want to come and watch how our caravans are doing live or ask questions, just come and join the stream. I'll see you there. Goodbye.